So I just was casually looking at this video just now, and I immediately groaned. Got to a certain point, only about a minute or so into it. I got to a certain point, and I just started groaning, and I realized that my utter revulsion to the absolute stupidity in this video immediately wanted me to not have to watch it. But then it also made me remember that this is exactly why I do these simple, stupid videos on my second channel, because at least in that way I have a way to vent about it. So, yeah, Sargon, our old friend Sargon, put out a video called If It Doesn't Matter That Socialism Doesn't Work. This is why Daddy drinks.
Mike Pompeo, the former US Secretary of State, recently posted the following on Getter, quote, "Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or Independent, the facts of history are clear. Socialism does not work."
Except in certain European countries where it seems to be working pretty good. Also, I'm gonna preface this video with, like, is the immediate question that most people, if they're even interested in this topic, should be asking: are we talking about socialism as a political theory, or an economic theory, or the answer is whatever is going to help this brain dead moron make his point. That is yes.
He is, of course, correct that socialism doesn't work, but there are a number of weaknesses inherent in this rebuttal of socialism, and I think they're worth exploring in order to formulate a more effective defense against this pernicious ideology. The first problem is that socialism is a notoriously difficult term to define.
Keep in mind, socialism is an inherently notorious definition or concept to define, okay? That's a very first thing that we need to keep in mind before Sargon starts to go through the history of this, and that this is a pernicious, dangerous ideology.
And many different ideologies have laid claim to it. In the ancient world, Plato could have been called the first to propose a form of socialism in his perfect planned polis proposed in the Republic.
Based.
Strains of proto-socialist thought have
Based Plato. I think Sargon likes Plato, so he's just going to kind of brush past. That wasn't real socialism.
Existed throughout Europe during the Middle Ages, revealing itself in the Cathar heresy, the Munster Anabaptist revolt, the Levellers, the Diggers, and the Chartists in England, and many others. But the modern term socialism, as we use it, appears to have first been coined a generation or so after the French Revolution by Pierre Leroux,
So this section where he's going through the historiosity of socialism, I don't give a fuck. I am sure anybody who knows history a lot better than me is probably tearing their hair out just knowing how Sargon tends to operate. I'm sure when he said many, many others, he's brushing past any actual decent, like, examples of it, I'm sure, but whatever.
French philosopher who swam in the waters of continental Enlightenment thought. Since then, many, many ideologies have laid claim to the term. Charles Fourier, Henry de Saint-Simon, and Robert Owen promoted utopian socialism. Marx and Engels thought they'd devised scientific socialism, and the watered-down democratic socialism that emerged pre-World War II, followed by the fascist movements that emerged out of socialism's failures.
Okay, we're gonna have to pause there. So the there's a whole lot that Sargon's not getting into in this. He's very, very quickly brushing past in this gish gallop of democratic socialism, the watered down version of democratic socialism that existed pre-World War II, and then just very quickly Mushmouth moves that into, oh yeah, also it turned into fascism because of its failures. And what the fuck? Yeah, the Kingdom of Italy, imperialist Germany. I know. Dude, anybody who actually has any functional understanding of history of the past century knows how fucking bullshit this is. I like, it's almost up there with, like, well, you know, the Nazis said that they were National Socialists, so they were socialists. It wasn't just effective propaganda? Okay, all right. I think Sargon's grift only has lasted as long as it has because of the appeal of his British accent to Americans. Yes and no. There are two aspects to why his grift has lasted that long. One, his British accent makes him sound smart when he is in fact incredibly stupid and manipulative. And two, he satisfies the fear boner of panic propagandists. He facilitates for people to feel that sense of otherness or be afraid or have a reason to be concerned about the way the world works. He's basically just jacking off really scared people. That is exactly what he does. But it's the same thing that fucking Tim Pool does, that any of these other fuckheads do. They just help to define and reinforce people's notions of their oppression or their gassed up sense of how the world works and what their enemy should be.
They all operate under a single shared assumption.
Here we go.
That all of society can be rationalistically ordered by a central authority for some greater purpose.
Now, somebody in my chat nailed it. I had a couple other ways that I was going to define it, but they nailed it. Sargon is doing the thing where socialism is when you do a government. I want to hear it one more time. Like, what socialism is, Sargon.
That all of society can be rationalistically ordered by a central authority for some greater purpose.
That is what a government is. Like all forms of government. Like, I'm sorry. And even like, your nationalist governments, like a nationalist bent for governments, which I know Sargon is hardcore nationalist. He likes to make it sound like nationalism is patriotism, which it is not. But no, nationalism also, your favorite kind of government, is exactly what you just said. I cannot fucking I can't wrap my head around this. America is communist. Apparently it is. Well, America is socialist. Every country with a government is apparently socialist now.
This idea creates a beguiling vision of the future that seems to have left socialism as an umbrella term as an unfinished puzzle for people who spend their time speculating on politics rather than working within it.
Speculating on politics rather than working within it. Really? Okay. That is fascinating. That has absolutely nothing to do with what you just said and what you claim socialism is. And remember when he said at the very beginning that it's a very hard term and that it like implying that he was going to be very specific, that we need to make sure that we're not conflating all these different things together and into one central core thing. We need to be very specific about what socialism is. And then he says socialism is when you have a government. Are you sure?
If only we get the formulation of these ideas correct, then we can construct this utopia in which all of civilization is organized along geometric lines.
I'm sorry, but people who are hyper-capitalists believe in a utopian ideal as well. Everybody believes in a utopian idea. Everybody does. What would be the point of wanting to consolidate together into a fucking country if you're not hoping that that is going to produce the very best outcome? I'm sorry, I do not fucking understand this shit. Like the notion of like free market capitalism is that if you free open the market enough, then you can trust that the competitiveness between innovation and smart investment will allow for everybody to grow. Prices will come down, more people can afford it, more people can then have jobs. I mean, it never works that fucking way. But if that's the idea, you are hoping for a utopian society under the idea of free market capitalism. Everybody thinks that, depending on what idea they're trying to go for. His chair is too high and it makes him look dumb? Yes, it does. It looks like he's sitting in a booster seat.
To achieve the organizer's particular goal. However, why should anyone agree to this? Any fool can observe that all attempts at socialism thus far have failed.
There are socialist countries that are doing fucking fantastic right now. Scandinavian countries that are doing fantastic right now. I don't. Would that work in every other country? Probably not. But this notion that just it is. First of all, socialism is when you have a government, and it's always bad. Are some of the most dumbass, watered down, pointless fucking statements. And all it serves is just to reinforce the idea, to jack off your audience that, yeah, no, you're totally right. Everything you hate is socialism, and everything that is socialism is bad. No, I got it. I'll get it all. I got you guys. Yeah, socialism bad. That's all I fucking see from this dumb shit. Every fucking time I look at his channel.
And most of them have failed on their own terms. But this observation does nothing to challenge the moral license that underpins the desire to construct a socialist society. Saying socialism doesn't work implies that if a method was found by which socialism could be made to work, then it would be justified to be a socialist.
Yeah. Yes. It'd be the same for anything. If you're like, hey, here's a thing and it doesn't work for everything, maybe there are ways to like change it or adapt it so it actually would work, and then we find it and it does work, then it would be good and it would work. Yes. Yes. Yes, of course. That's like saying, hey, there's this broken thing, but saying that you could fix it if you could just figure out a way to fix it would be saying that you could fix it. Yeah, then it would be fixed. Then it would work. Yeah, right. Yeah. What an absolute empty-headed statement of saying absolutely fucking nothing. What the fuck?
As if it would be morally permissible to take ownership of the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness of every person in the entire nation.
I love the AOC. The AOC Photoshop there. Like, she's just watching this beautiful white family, tromping through the wildflowers like, I'm going to take your freedom. I'm going to take all of your tax money. I'm going to give it to, I don't know. What is Sargon afraid of these days? Immigrants? I don't know. Something. Fuck. I don't really pay that much attention to him. But no, I want to hear what he is. I actually want to hear what he's saying. I just fucking couldn't get over that fucking image.
Socialist, as if it would be morally permissible to take ownership of the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness of every person in the entire nation and annex these under the power of the socialist to dispose of as they see fit.
Okay. The Photoshop just got even better. So to take the life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, blah, 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 in order to then distribute it however it is that you want. Our government does that right now. Your government does that right now. They do it now. We have fucking taxes, man. We have taxes. Our taxes are given to the government, and the government uses it to enhance society. If that's socialism, then we're all living under socialism. If you're trying to abolish all taxes and shit, I mean, if you're a free market capitalist, then why doesn't your utopian ideal work? Have we just not found the key to really? Maybe it's a balance of things. Maybe it's a balance of different things. Like that could be a thing. Because it's the same old tired fucking argument. Like this video is a video about nothing. It is absolutely a video about nothing. Because the notion, the essence of what he's trying to describe as socialism is present in every single first world country. And most of all the others. And the way in which we compile together money for a collective good under the branch of a government it's not called socialism, but how he's defining it would be socialism. And so we do it anyway. I just cannot fucking wrap my head around this shit. It's so fucking crazy. Does he live in the U.S.? No, he doesn't live in the U.S. He's just horny for U.S. politics. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are so many people who don't live in the U.S. and they just run their fucking mouth about it constantly. I like Lauren Shen. Lauren Shen's Canadian. But yeah, this dude, he really doesn't like it when immigrants are interfering with his country and his politics, but him being a Brit has no problem giving his 2 cents on American politics. But it's different for some reason.
I don't agree that any ideologically possessed managerial bureaucrat should be given absolute power to reorder society to achieve some abstract ideal.
Who does have absolute power? I don't think anybody does. Is he saying because he didn't say socialism is when there's one person, like one person in control. Which somebody should point out that there's been a rise of monarchists a lot on the interwebs lately. I think they might be more along the lines of what Sargon's concerned about than people who are just like, hey, can we have healthcare?
I don't agree that I should forfeit my property, liberty, and decision-making capacity because some armchair social engineer somewhere has a thought that they think might work this time. My rights are not contingent on the inspirational quality of these power-mad daydreamers.
Do you pay taxes? Because there is functionally no difference. There's no difference. I don't even know what exactly he's trying to describe. Like what is going to be taken from you? What liberty is taken from you? Because we have laws that restrict our liberty to do things all the fucking time. Is there something more specific that you're kind of concerned about? Like, because I don't even know what he's trying to talk about. It's just this broad, amorphous, like the social. You got to watch out because here comes the socialism, booga 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 booga. It's a boogeyman, and he's trying to make sure that everybody stays really really scared and just,
Moreover, every socialist has always thought that this time their new method of achieving socialism will work, so pointing out that every previous attempt at socialism has failed will...
Name me one overt socialist candidate right now. I think there are like 3 in smaller role, like that have been running for smaller offices in the United States. It's a very small minority. And I don't think any of them have won. Maybe one has. Maybe one, like outright. And it's not even social. It's like democratic socialist. One. I think that's it. And this is like, we need to sound the alarms and bells. I don't know about over in the UK. Do you guys, like, we got some UK people in chat. Do you guys have any like actual socialist politicians or anything like that? Because I don't know. Are there socialists in the U.S.? Yeah, democratic socialists. There's some. Because there's a difference. There are social democrats, and then there are democratic socialists. They are different in specific and important ways. But there are a lot more social democrats than there are people who would be like democratic socialists. UK has some in Labour Party. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, maybe he has more of a reason to be panicking about it, but it's not like he's going to split the hairs.
Will be unpersuasive at best. They know previous attempts didn't work, but are convinced that this time it will be different. They are special. They have hit upon the magical formula, if only they are given enough power this time.
I think a lot of this, too, is he's conflating socialism with communism, which is something that is very intentionally done by rightoids who don't really want you to think about it very much. It's all the same thing, so,
However, our individual rights do not belong to the collective ideas of the socialist to structure as they please, and there could be no universal consensus on such an issue anyway. This renders socialism, in its basic assumptions, a proposition of theft, tyranny, and murder.
So how you described it was socialism is when you have a government, because you did not define it any more than that. The idea that there can be a centralized authority that people pay into to improve and enhance society forward. And so you're saying, well, let's see how you. I don't want to misquote you.
renders socialism, in its basic assumptions, a proposition of theft, tyranny, and murder.
So government is when there is a government is theft, tyranny, and murder. Unexpectedly based Sargon of Akkad take. Wow. Wow. Welcome to the revolution, friend.
Put simply, the socialists don't care that this won't work. They think it will, and they feel morally justified because they are striving for utopia and seeking the intellectual satisfaction they will derive from solving this unsolvable political puzzle.
You know, it's so interesting, too, because he has to say that socialism in no way ever works. But if we do allow for defining some socialist policies, we do know that it does work in many, many countries. Universal health care. Like the United States is the only first world country that doesn't have universal health care. It fucking works. It works everywhere. Are there problems with it in certain places? There's some problems with the NIH, some, but it's pretty fucking good. Are there problems with Canada's? Some, but it's better than not having it. But but really, everybody secretly hates universal health care, because socialism and because Sargon says so. Okay.
They think they are going to save the world. Furthermore, I don't care that this won't work. I'm not prepared to give up my own self-determination and autonomy, some class of vanguardists who wish to centrally plan out my future for me. That socialism is and always has been an unworkable ideological mess from the fantasies of people who literally know nothing about the business of government is irrelevant to both them and us. The problem with socialism is not simply that it doesn't work, but that it requires the socialist to do tremendous evil in the service of a cause that can never be achieved.
I really don't see how that statement is really any different than if you were to replace socialism with government. I'm sorry, man. It's the same fucking thing. It's the same thing.
Socialism should be better framed as the dark scourge of the Enlightenment that ruins nations and forces parents to cannibalize their own children while singing the praises of the infallible dear leader, Mike Pompeo.
Hang on.
Tremendous evil in the service of a cause that can never be achieved. Socialism should be better framed as the dark scourge of the Enlightenment that ruins nations and forces parents to cannibalize their own children while singing the praises of the infallible dear leader,
Jesus Christ? Because you could say the same fucking thing about Christianity throughout the Enlightenment. Come on, man. Holy shit. You could say the same fucking thing. All of the goddamn, empire building, the slaughtering of fucking civilizations, the ethnic fucking cleansing done in the name of a holy fucking church, the suppression of scientific discovery. I'm sorry, dude. I cannot get behind this. It makes no fucking sense. You say that socialism is basically when you do a government, and then the very thing that you are describing that is this great evil is like monarchism, divine mandate under a theocratic fucking government. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. So fucking stupid.
Mike Pompeo.
I wonder why he's so mad at Mike Pompeo. That's very strange to me. Surely this man knows the difference between socialism and authoritarian communism by now, right? Here's the thing. You have to, in order for that to be true, you would have to make a giant leap of logic and assume that Carl is actually a giant troll and not, in fact, incredibly stupid, and who has just kind of stumbled into everything that he's done by going along a party line. So does he know the difference? I'm sure somebody's explained it to him, but he has since dropped that because he needs to make more room in his head for better ways in which to thoroughly masturbate to completion his audience who are just afraid of socialism because somebody told them they needed to be afraid of socialism. That's really all there is to it. I mean, for fuck's sake, the last time that Sargon replied to me when I made a video making fun of him, I put an animated GIF of a China flag behind me. Because he was like, he had a flag, a British and American flag behind him. And I was like, okay, comrade, let's do this. And so as a joke, I put the China thing up. He acted like it was totally 100% real, that it wasn't a fucking joke. I'm sorry. Sargon's a fucking moron. Oh, boy.